Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of Video Ask a Master, where we discuss all things Mimio. This video is part of our What's New in MimioStudio 7 series, and one of the amazing new features that MimioStudio is now offering is the ability to attach files to your interactive notebook lessons. My name is Paul. I am a full-time social studies teacher right outside of Cleveland, Ohio. I also serve in a few capacities for Mimio, not only as a Mimio Quick Learn instructor, but also as the Mimio Connect site manager. And I am thrilled to be here with you to talk about how easy it is to attach files to your interactive lessons. Now, a lot of folks have been asking me about the new MimioStudio 7 series and asking me, Paul, why in the world would you want to attach a file to your lesson? So let's just go ahead and talk about that for a moment. Pull down some information here for you. And as I said, one of the new features here in MimioStudio 7 is the ability to attach a file to your interactive notebook lesson. And then when you go ahead and save your interactive notebook lesson, what will happen is not only will you save your lesson, but you'll also save those file attachments that come with it. Now that's a little difficult to understand, so I always like to compare it to something that everyone is familiar with, sending an email. I know you've all sat down and you've typed out a nice email to a friend or a colleague, and then from time to time you've actually attached files to it as well. So that when the recipient gets your email, not only do they get the text of your email, but also that supplementary file that goes with it. Could be a document, could be a picture, could be a video, could be all of those things. Well, MimioStudio 7 now allows you to do something very similar to that with your interactive lessons. In other words, what you're going to be able to do now with the new software is build a lesson just like you always would have in MimioStudio Notebook, a nice interactive lesson that's going to engage your class, going to give your students opportunities for active learning. But of course, as teachers, we always have a variety of supplementary materials and files lying around. We have other items that could go very nicely with this particular lesson. You might have a Word file, or a multimedia video file, an audio file. You might have some other things that would go very, very nicely within your lesson that you'd like to keep in one place, that you'd like to kind of house under one file. And that's what MimioStudio is going to allow you to do with the file attachment feature. You're going to be able to build your lesson and then go ahead and attach any supplementary files that might be useful for that lesson right to the file. So now everything that you would ever possibly need is contained within one file. That way, when you're teaching away, if you need to go grab one of those supplementary features or supplementary files, all you do is press a couple of buttons and they're right there at your fingertips. You don't have to search your whole computer for them. Also, of course, if you want to share them with your colleagues or want to share them at MimioConnect.com, all of those files will be saved under a single file name so that you can upload it and share it with the world. So that's sort of the theory behind it. Now let's take a look at how easy it is to actually do it. Basically, what you would do if you wanted to attach a file to your Mimio Notebook lesson is you'd just simply go ahead and you'd open up your MimioStudio Notebook. You'd open up the lesson that you want to attach files to. It would look something like this. And you'll notice that as one of the new features that we have here in Mimio Notebook Studio 7 is this extra window over here on the right-hand side, which usually displays your thumbnails. Small images of all the pages here inside of your interactive lesson. However, if you go down to the bottom of this particular window, you'll notice that you have two buttons. You have one for thumbnails, which is pressed right now, but you also have this little file folder over here. If I press that file folder, that window will change, and it will change to show me all of the different files that I have attached to my Mimio Notebook lesson. And notice right now I have one Word document attached. So if I was in class and I wanted to access this Word document, I could do a couple of different things. One, I could simply tap on it, and what it'll do is open up Word for me and open up that document inside. Once again, it's right there at my fingertips. The other thing, of course, I could do is I could reach in my file attachment menu and I could literally drag and drop it right into my notebook so that I could use it in an interactive fashion within my MimioStudio Notebook. So it's kind of nice to have the file attachments right there at your fingertips, supposing you want to use them with your class. Now finally, let me show you how easy it is to put them in there. All we're going to do is we're going to open up any folder on your computer, and you're simply going to drag any type of file that you want right into that window. And notice now how I'm attaching these extra files: PowerPoint files, JPEG files, document files, any kind of files. The last step then is to go up to File in your MimioStudio Notebook, Save As, and when you save it, all of those files will come with it. So that's how easy it is to attach files. If you have a question that you'd like to ask, just let us know.